Howdy from Arlington, Texas, y'all. I hope this video finds you well. So, kind of a perfect storm of things. So I got some motivation from Sconnie Tradition yesterday. He was showing off his University of Wisconsin collection, and I'm a college football guy. At heart, that's probably my number one sport, although the way things are going, I don't know. I'm losing interest. All these transfers and all this crap, and yeah. Anyway, and then my wife decided to go down to her mom's today and hang out by the swimming pool with her, so I got some time. So I thought maybe I'd do a little WVU rummage. I got some stuff. Man, I got so much stuff. I don't look at it. I forget what I got. I was like, I'm going to go through it, so maybe I'll just go ahead and, while I'm at it, go ahead and make a video, and here we are. So I hope you're having a great Saturday. I hope this Saturday for me is better than last Saturday. Saturday evening, our air conditioner went out. I live in, as I said earlier, Arlington, Texas. So one of the cords stopped working to the air conditioning unit is what ultimately happened, and so we had no air conditioning from sometime Saturday evening until it got fixed around the early afternoon on Monday, and then still it took till overnight for the house to cool down. So luckily, my buddy Gary had a couple of spare window units and let us borrow one for our room. He's got a channel. I believe it's the Gary V brand, is what it's called. I'll put a link to it below. Check it out. But yeah, he's a local guy. He let me borrow that, and so we were able to sleep a lot better Sunday night. We didn't get it till Sunday. We didn't actually even realize it was out Saturday night. And then hindsight was kind of 2020. We're like, man, it went out sometime last night. We thought it was just hot, because the air conditioner, it doesn't get as cool in here as it should because it's so damn hot outside. Ended up getting up to 88 degrees in this house, but we survived. So anyway, let's do a little rummage. This is going to be a long video because it's a Mountaineer collection, and I've been working on this damn thing for 30 years. You're probably not going to make it to the end, and you know what? That's okay, because this honestly is as much for me as it is for a video. So just take a chance, just take some time and go through it and enjoy. But we'll start out with a little mail day. Very appropriate. Thursday, I got my informed delivery in the morning, and I saw I had a plain white envelope, hashtag Team PWE, from my buddy Wes. I got stacked by the Pancake King, Mr. Wes Moore. And what did I find in that plain white envelope? A Shelton Gibson autograph for my Mountaineer collection. So very appropriate for what we're doing. So let's get going. Let's look at let's check some things out, have some fun. So I did find a couple of things that weren't in this particular box that I wanted to show off. So I don't know if any Mountaineer collectors will do it, but if you want the original WVU card, there is actually a T3 from the Murad set. It is a golf card that has WVU on it, but the granddaddy of at least football player cards is this, and I have two of them. How do I turn this? Come on, turn that off. There we go. So these are 1950 felt back cards. Obviously, they look pretty small in that card saver, and that's because they are. So for comparison, there's my Shelton Gibson, and there is my Pete Zinich felt back. Why are they called felt backs? Because on the back, and you can kind of see, I feel like, from there, but yeah, they have a felt back. They feel felt. So I have been fortunate enough to acquire two of these. There is also a yellow copy of this, and there was actually an eBay auction for a graded one. This was crazy. I decided to tap out on it because I was just like, you know what, I'll be able to get another one down the road. I just don't want to spend this money right now. I'm not buying a whole lot of cards right now, as you've noticed by a lack of mail day video things. Yeah, it was crazy. There was a PSA 4 of the brown and a PSA 7 of the yellow, and they pretty much went off around the same time, within a day or so of each other. And the PSA 4 of the brown went for more, which is strange because I have seen more of the browns than I have the gold copy. But nonetheless, this is like the granddaddy of all WVU sports cards. Haven't shown those off before, so. Or maybe I have in a mail day video, but I figured I'd go ahead and take another opportunity. We all love showing our stuff off, even if it's stuff that other people aren't super interested in. So a handful of the other things that I found looking for those, actually, I found a 1953 Bowman Jim Fridley. I got a half dozen copies of this card because I found them at card shows for like $1, 53 tops. So I pick up any of those I can. Like this one says 5. I think this might have been my first one, so I probably paid 5 for it. But yeah, pitched to WVU from Philippi, West Virginia. Just a big old brick of John Means. So yeah, as y'all are opening your baseball and you pull these John Means numbered and autograph and all these cards that you don't want, hit me up, let me know. He pitched at West Virginia, so I passively collect him, and what I mean by that is I'm not really out searching for him, but I'll take them as they come along. I probably bought this. I want to say I bought this off Brent and Becca. I want to say that's, what's that, probably a stack of 50 when the Heritage came out, because I love Heritage. So there's that. This is fun stuff. If you're a WVU fan, you'll know some of these names. I wish they still did these things. I think these were program cards is what they were. They look well cut, so I don't know necessarily that they were in programs. I know there were program cards at other times. But this would have been, what about 1993, I'm guessing? And I remember most of these names as a kid from being, my time as a kid. Terrace Alexander, Joe Alvin. Okay, I don't recognize all of them. Leroy Axum, I remember him. Mike Touchdown Baker Maker. Or how about Mike Touchdown Maker Baker? Not Baker Maker. But yeah, I wish they still... Rich Bram, who had a long NFL career. He actually, not only did he play WVU, he was from my hometown, played across in my crosstown school rival, University High School, and actually his cousin was, I was in Boy Scouts with him. Tom Briggs, remember him? Tom Briggs played in the Arena League for years. I have a jersey card of him from his Arena League time. Okay, yeah, some of these I don't remember after all. I know there's a couple more years of these that I don't have the sets yet, because when people do put them up, they want too much money for them. Any other big names in here? Mike Compton played in the NFL, played center for a long time, played for, well, maybe not a long time. He played a little less than a decade. Was drafted by the Lions, and that might be all he played for. I can't think of anybody else he may have played for, but he won. He was an All-American center. West Virginia's All-America center, third-year starter, Playboy All-America, first team, AP All-Big East, etc., etc. Rick Dolly, I remember him, offensive lineman. Garrett Ford, that would be the junior. What else we got here? So if you're a West Virginia guy, you're probably enjoying this. Barry Hawkins. Yeah, I wish colleges would do things like this now. I mean, like I said, they were produced by the team. I can't remember if they were programs or what they were. But why not put little things like this out there together? I get Olympian gold medalist James Jett, who then went and played for the Raiders. Maybe just the Raiders. It kind of came from out of nowhere his rookie year. I remember the first thing he had was some wild card super chrome rookie. Like, he wasn't in the base sets. I want to say it was 92. But yeah, fastest man in college football, won a gold medal at the Barcelona Olympics as a member of the 4x100 USA relay team. But yeah, I want to get these other sets. Jake the Snake Kelchner was our quarterback. So this was at the latest the 93 season. because that was the year we went to the Sugar Bowl undefeated, played Florida, and got the snot kicked out of us. 41-7, I think, was the score. David Mayfield, safety. He was a defensive back, but I think he was a safety. Actually played at my high school, went to the same junior high I did, and his sister was a year older than me, and actually, so I went to school with her for 4 years. Okay, so 92, it has to be at the latest 92, and we saw James Jett. That was the 92 Olympics. So this has to be a 92 set, right? Okay. Won a gold medal, but yeah, so 92 Olympics, I would think. But Adrian Morrell was a rookie in 1993 in the NFL. Played through the early 2000s, made an All-Pro team a couple of times, was drafted by the Jets, and then he played for the Cardinals as well. As we call it, his nickname was the Hawaiian Punch. Focus. Tommy Orr. Wes Richardson was a stud. Nate Ryan. Tom Robsock was good. Kwame Smith. Darren Studstill did get a little bit of NFL time with the Cowboys. He was our other quarterback. What I remember most about him, so Jake Kelchner, we saw him earlier, he was our starter. Studstill, I think, had been the starter the year before or had played quarterback. Kelchner transferred in, I want to say, from Notre Dame and won the job. But kind of both of them played. Studstill was more the running guy. Kelchner was the throwing quarterback. And unfortunately for Darren Studstill, what most of us Mountaineer fans probably remember him most for is the Sugar Bowl game when he was hit and probably had a concussion. Protocol wasn't quite what it, it wasn't quite then what it is now. And he was so out of it that inside his face mask, his chin strap, was going straight up and down in front of his face. And, it seemed like he didn't even realize it. Hope he's not suffered, long-term effects of that. Most of these guys probably had concussions. Lorenzo Styles, Matt Toffoni was a stud linebacker. Mike Vanderjagt, a lot of you that love the NFL probably know Mike Vanderjagt pretty well. He was the one that basically his career ended when he called out Peyton Manning because Peyton Manning basically just wasn't a winning quarterback. And unpopular opinion, when Mike Vanderjagt said that, he was right. Manning was putting up all kinds of numbers, but he hadn't won shit yet. That's the dirty little secret that nobody wanted to talk about, was that he was right. At one point, he struggled his last couple years. I know he played with the Cowboys toward the end. He struggled, but up through maybe those last couple seasons, he was the NFL's all-time leader in field goal percentage. He was good. Derek Wiley, this guy went crazy. I believe it was him that went crazy. We know things now that we didn't know then, but I feel like he ran into the Mon River and had a knife and was threatening to cut his pecker off or something, man. Maybe if anybody watches, it'll probably be Josh, man. Let me know. Does that sound right to you? Although you might be a lot younger than me and may not remember that. Dale Williams, Rodney Woodard, played a lot of running back, and James Puppy Wright. Good times, man. Good times. And with how, I don't even know what the word is, just jaded I am with modern sports. Living these memories of better times are fun. So these I've shown before, but anytime you get a chance to show off a Jerry West autograph, you show off a Jerry West autograph. Zeke from Cabin Creek. And then you show off a second one. Not, obviously I like the stuff in the WVU uniform way more than anything in a Lakers uniform. But I got it really good. I think I got this for $35 delivered. Definitely, to me, it was definitely a steal. Sorry for that little clinging noise. My wife has a, the hell do you call that? Like a stained glass sun catcher in the window, and I turned a fan on before I started this, and it's making it bang up against the wall. So, Wild Bill Greer, or as we called him, Touchdown Jesus when he had his long hair. I don't know if we called him Touchdown Jesus, but we called him something Jesus. Anyway, So let's get into the box. So we'll start with some newer-ish stuff. So 20 teens. Good old Geno Smith. I know he was an NFL bust. To be honest, I didn't actually think he was going to be a successful NFL quarterback. So I did not put a lot of money into his stuff early on. And I don't really care for the NFL stuff, but I loved Panini Cracked Ice. So this is 9 of 25. There we go. Finally focusing. You'll see most of what I have of him is WVU related. And honestly, it's only because, he had so much cool WVU stuff that I actually bought it. So we got this one. Honestly, nothing special about this Team Pinnacle with Matt Barkley, but it definitely reminded me of, some of the cards back in the 90s. They had the Team Pinnacle front and back side, so nostalgia had me pick that one up. This one I just like because it's kind of got I think it's the 51 Bowman, 52 Bowman, 52 tops. I don't know, one of those signs. It's kind of got that pennant look, but I like, again, just kind of some nostalgia. And, of course, it's even though you don't see logos, it's WVU. Jersey cards, you don't, at the time, still weren't seeing as much on the jerseys from college. So that was a super cool piece for me. This is one I just picked up because, again, the OSPX, it has one of the, what's that, about the 95, 96 design. And then the other thing about a lot of these is that I like, not only did they have the retro designs from Upper Deck of stuff that I liked, but you had 3 guys that were rookies this year that were WVU guys. You had Geno Smith. Later on, you'll see some Tavon Austin and some Stedman Bailey. And they were, like the 3 of them were all in the sets. So my plan was to get all 3 of them, put them in a binder side by side by side. And as you can tell, these are not in a binder. This is another one where there's an Austin and a Stedman Bailey. This one was just shiny and cool. But anyway, yeah, so I am going to actually put these in binders down the road. I'm moving stuff there. So this is just another Cracked Ice. I don't even know if this one's numbered. It's not numbered on the front. It's not even numbered. I don't know. This might have been from one of these two, I think, was from the National, which would have been the 2013 National. I don't know which one it was. Geno Smith. Love the American flag on the back. America. I bought so much of this Upper Deck stuff that year. I love those gray jerseys. I wish we'd bring them back as an alternate. Talked about not a ton of swatches, but this is kind of where it seemed to at least pick up on the WVU guys. So this one is a booklet. Not a fan of booklets. Honestly, this may literally be the only booklet I own. If I own any others, they're WVU ones. So anyway, 25 of 75. Yeah, I'm not a fan of booklets. I don't know. Not my thing. Call me an old man. Looks like we're getting a little overcast outside, and I'm starting to lose a little bit of light. This one, badass. Numbered out of 10. Multiple colors. Curious now, now that I look at it and you think about it. Player worn. Yeah, player worn, I figured. Because as you can tell in there, that is not, that is the screen print on the blue and the gold. It is not an actual patch, so I probably overpaid for that thing, but what are you going to do? All right, let's get in here. Looks like we got more Stinko Geno. Let's put a couple of these back there. I do like that one, even if it is just player worn. Yeah, I think that'll do it for now. Another Geno like this because it's got the 92 Fleer Ultra design to it. Sticker autograph sucks, but yeah, what are you going to do? So this one, I'm going to say, is probably game worn. It does say player worn, but that one actually, you can tell on the texture, it is not a screen print. So hard to say if it's, but it's definitely not as cheaply made. So Josh, I apologize. I cannot remember what your channel name is, but I will try to remember to put it below because I know you're a West Virginia guy. You're going to like this one because you just posted a picture on Facebook the other day, him on one of those 10-day challenge things. Actually, let's just do both of them. Ooh, well, I'll just do them one at a time. Fleer Ultra, Gary Stills. Man was a badass, what did we call him? A rush linebacker. So he was basically a defensive end. And what do we got here? 10 sacks there. He played 30 games in his career and had 26 sacks. Dude was a beast. That final year, I actually think, because he only played 8 games, and I think he had 10 sacks, so he had, one and a quarter per game. He was getting way more, double teams and stuff that year. I want to say his year prior, his junior year, was his best year. So this, I don't even know what these are called. These are rubies or gems, or here we go, precious metal gems. Is that 33 out of 50? Too bad it wasn't 55 out of 50. Be an eBay 1 of 1. Hell, that'd be a true 1 of 1. Just some Fleer Ultra. Man, 1998-99 football. I mean, there was a lot of Mountaineers that went to the NFL. A lot of good sets, a lot of pretty sets. So those were some peak football years for me, because you're going to see more. So an old Mike Vanderjack Jogo, he did start in the Canadian League. So this is a Mike Vanderjack. This is a ruby of some sort, I believe is what it's called, but it is serial numbered 5 of 30. Vanderjack scorecard. What are these? I think this is like 35 or something random. 46. So we got another one of those precious metal gems, this time of Vanderjack. 3 of 50. Kevin White, nothing super there. Kevin White, man, I really thought that guy was going to be a beast. I wish he could have stayed healthy. Because, I mean, not only was he a beast as a receiver in college, I mean, he genuinely seemed like a hell of a good kid. It's a shame that it didn't work out better for him than it did. Nothing special on those. Pat White, who, when he left college, was the all-time leading rusher as a quarterback. He got knocked number 2 by Denard Robinson, which was stupid, seeing as Denard Robinson played his senior year as a frickin' running back, and they counted those numbers. Yeah, not the least bit bitter. Not sure if he would still have that number, to be honest. But Pat White, man, if you're a Mountaineer, Pat White, he's it. Pat White. Pat White. I love anything. I love the black cards. Anything with, and then with silver signatures. These I just have because they're the not knockoff. They're the tribute to the, I think it's 49, 48 Topps Magic cards, and I love vintage. So there you go. Pat White. I don't like these on the swatches. They usually don't turn out well. This one actually did, so that's cool, but just in general, not a fan of that. And apparently Upper Deck and Panini are still doing that. Pat White, Steve Slayton. What a backfield, man. Pat White, Steve Slayton, Owen Schmidt, Noel Devine. That would be a hell of a quad autograph card, but yeah, we ain't ever going to see that. Quincy Wilson, if you're a Mountaineer, you definitely remember the run against Miami where he just literally plowed over one of the Miami defenders. It's definitely what he's known best for. I mean, but he was a damn good running back for WVU. His dad, Otis Wilson, I want to say was a linebacker and played on the Bears 85 championship team. I know he was a defensive player, I think linebacker. So just more autograph, base Upper Deck. I feel like we just saw one of these, didn't we? Didn't we just see one of these? Yeah. I mean, these are the kind of guys that if I go dollar box diving, at local shows, I'm going to find these in the dollar boxes day and night. I'm going to pick them up every time, probably, even though I shouldn't. So, another 1999 rookie. I was talking about those classes. Amos Zaraway, badass running back. Played in the NFL for a few years. Played with the Steelers. I'm going to say he went somewhere else, but I started losing interest in the NFL, so to be honest, I couldn't really tell you. To me, the best Amos Zaraway autograph, one of the two best Amos Zaraway autograph cards out there. The best of him by himself is this one. The Mountaineer uniform, the shade, the autographics, the gold background. Beautiful. Numbered out of 99. Man, I miss Pacific. Pacific was good stuff. Good stuff. Score. The rookies were shorter printed, so that was a good card back in the day. Some Charles Sims here, again, kind of that SPX throwback, to the 90s. We got a Steve Slayton college ties. I definitely, for a while there was, trying to collect them all. I grew up, and I've talked about, or I've stated, I haven't said on here, but I think the guys like me that have collected since the 80s and even to early to mid 90s, we were able to collect it all. There just wasn't as much stuff. We could collect all the sports we wanted to. It was pretty easy. When I started, there was one football set a year. There was one basketball set. Just a couple years later, you're starting to get into 3, 4, 5. It's starting to get busier. It's another Topps Magic. But man, yeah, you could collect it all. If you were a baseball guy, even when I started in 87, you only had 4 sets. By 88, in 87, you had 3 sets. You had main sets, Topps Donruss Fleer. 88, you added Score. 89, you added Upper Deck. 90, you added Elite. You're starting to get a little. But I grew up in that time where, numbered out of 100, and jersey number, I believe. Yes, jersey number. eBay 101. Shiny Tavon. Stedman. Shiny Gino. Stedman was not shiny. Anyway, so I do a lot of the newer collectors. I definitely envy how they are able to remain focused. But I think part of the problem for some of us that have been collecting so long is it's hard to remain focused because we grew up essentially collecting it all. There's that Super Chrome Rookies James Jett. Like, it's actually an insert inside of something else, and that was his first card that came out. And I mean, in the Morgantown area, this was like a $20 card. That was obviously, you're talking early 90s, so you're talking pre-eBay, pre-internet, pre-all of that. So regional premiums were actually a thing. Paul Popovich stamp from my hometown and played baseball at WVU. Vince Belnome, one of the, I don't know, there's only been a little more than a dozen, not even 2 dozen WVU players that have made the major leagues. Willie Drury. Antonio Brown, not the one that y'all know, but a different Antonio Brown. Stephen Grant, Fleer Metal. This Fleer Metal set was just so badass. I love that. But anyway, so yeah, the guys that have the real tight, impressive collection is where, and I'm trying to change it. I'm trying to get a little better, but definitely my collection is more quantity over quality. But I think that's a product of just have always always tried to collect it all. Another one where I just picked it up literally because of the black. I picked this up. I can't even remember. I picked this up at the Indy card show when I lived in Indianapolis. Slayton and Owen Schmidt dual autograph. Slayton and Owen Schmidt dual autograph. Slayton by himself autograph. Slayton Saturday swatches. Yeah, so I'm interested to know what y'all think about, if you agree with that. If you've been collecting since I have, since the late 70s, or late 70s, good lord, I'm not that old, late 80s. Also, I'm not one of the guys that ever took a break. There were more lean years when I was in college, and after I got out of college, was starting to work in the real world. There were more lean years, but I never got out of it. And I just wonder, like I said, if the guys that have been collecting like I have kind of struggle with that same, we got so much. This one, I mean, again, not a big fan of the NFL uniforms, but it's obviously the tribute to the old 94 Mayo cut plug set. So I like that. Wonder if any of y'all kind of feel the same way. So there's a college tie, Slayton and Schmidt. I'm sure it's numbered out of something. 800. Slayton Schmidt, numbered out of 200. I mean, yeah, it's kind of asinine. I'm going to keep all these because honestly, I would never be able to sell them for anywhere near what I put into them. But going forward, I'm only looking for maybe a card or two of guys that make the NFL. I'm not into the quantity anymore. Ideally, I'd like to have something in a WVU uniform if possible, and usually anymore it is. The exception to that was Bruce Irvin. Never had a card produced in his WVU uniform. Charles Sims was a heck of a run back. He was a transfer from... Where did he transfer from? He transferred from somewhere. Came in. I think he was one of those grad transfers. He was just there for a year. Did he come from, Kansas, maybe? I can't even remember now. What do we got here? Cougars. Houston. He must have come over. He must have played with Holgerson when Holgerson was the OC in Houston. What do we got here? The good news is, I guess it's going a little faster than I thought. The bad news is there's still a hell of a lot of stuff, and we're a half hour in, so probably ain't nobody even going to make it this far. Leaf can definitely do a good job when they want to. I know some people hate them. They hate the no logos, and I get that because I kind of get that. I will say that at least with football, sometimes it can be easier. You got the helmet at a certain angle. If this was all blue here instead of having the gold WV, you wouldn't even notice. It's a little bit easier to do than it is with baseball. With the front of the cap, and the huge name on the jerseys is where football, it's more about a number. Jock Sanders, another little but so effective man. It's not a big dude. Darius Raynaud played for a few years in the NFL. I want to say definitely Vikings, maybe Giants, but I know Wes Lyons played for the Giants, so maybe that's who I'm thinking of. Another Raynaud, and is that Josh Booty? Yeah, or John David Booty. Yeah, whatever. All them booties are the same. That did not come out the way I intended that. Jerry Porter. Dude was the beast. Had, I want to say 2,000 or 3,000 yard seasons. Had an 8 touchdown season in the NFL with the Raiders. Later on, went to Jacksonville for a year, but was very ineffective, and then out of the league after that. Porter played. He played defensive back at West Virginia. Then he was quarterback. And then he was a wide receiver. Dude was talented. I mean, he was a football player. He could play a lot of things. Love him, hate him. This guy here. When he came in, either on his recruiting trip or right when he got there, he came into the lid store I was working at the time. Dude is a complete asshole. Complete jackass. KJ Harris, I know he was drafted by the Dolphins. I don't know if he ever actually got any playing time. Numbered out of 100. Yeah, he's a jackass. I don't have any good... he was one of those guys that came in. He was older. He was like 26 when he came in because he had played minor league baseball for a few years. Refractor. Rest peacefully, Slim. Dude had a lot of problems. Legal, mental, but rest peacefully, sir. Pac-Man Jones, not a fan of him from, he's got a lot of problems himself, but he was a Mountaineer. He was a stud. At the time, he was the highest drafted player ever out of West Virginia, still might be, so he gets a place in the collection. Not a big fan, don't have a whole lot of stuff by him. Dude's had a long-ass NFL career, though. Because I want to say he was a rookie in like 05, I guess. And he was still playing up until a couple of years ago. Have this just So I have an autograph. Or did I have a WVU autograph? Yeah. I don't think he had any WVU autographs, so I had to get one of him in a pro uniform. Brandon Miles, not Wes Lyons, played for the rookie, or played for the Giants. Don't know if he ever actually got into a game or anything. There's a Brandon Miles autograph. Miles, maybe I'll start grabbing more of these at once so we can go a little faster. Rahima McKnight and Brandon Miles. The Brandon Miles autograph. Yeah, I love me some college football. That's my thing. So if y'all got a school and you got a collection like Scott's video, yeah, show them off, man. I'll enjoy the hell out of those. I watch videos while I'm working anyway. Not really watch so much as listen, and then obviously I hear something I like, I look up. So KJ Harris, this was one of the first college jersey cards. Jed Jerko, he's from my hometown, played at my crosstown rival high school. Aspirations autograph. These college ties autographs. Again, I don't like the ones on fabric, but I got 3 of these bad boys. I think they're numbered out of like 200 maybe. 125. Just some random Jerko. Noel Divine Letterman. That's another one where I was like, yeah, they do them on the fabric, and so many times they don't show up well. This one showed up well and is maintained, so that's awesome. Noel Divine was a badass college running back. Little guy. All right, so this next one I'm going to show you is a Mountaineer. This is a card that it's numbered to 100. It is, I mean, I'm sure nowadays with how many cards are out there, how many Mountaineers have made the NFL and had cards and had autographs, it probably doesn't hold quite the allure that it did. But for a long time, this was a card that a lot of guys didn't have that wanted. It was a white whale card. I actually helped a guy. I came into a second one of these and helped another WVU collector get it. Hindsight being 2020, I kind of wish I'd kept it, but it is what it is. Helped out another collector. I'm not gonna be mad about that. But Campus Connection, Avon Coburn, Amos Zaraway. Coburn, when he left school, was the all-time leading rusher in the Big East. Zaraway was, again, just a badass. A dual, and I say on-card autograph, but I feel like back then most everything was on-card. Numbered out of 100. These things are tough to find. I don't know what it is, but it's like, we talk about some of those serial numbered cards, and you're like, there's, take the Donruss Elite. There's 2,500 of them, but man, they ain't easy to find, considering there's as many of them as there are. Got a lot of more Avon Coburn autographs. Was with the Lions. Not sure how much playing time he ever got. I love the All-American set. CFL card. I want to say that's his rookie. Didn't hang up there too long either, unfortunately. Just some basics, parallels, numbered stuff, 500. There's the base All-American, which of course I love those because I love that set. I'm actually passively working on the 55 All-American set. I'm about 65% of the way through. Love this Mark Bulger autograph. Let's kind of get through here. Jarrett Brown, hell of a nice guy. Ran into him in the Indianapolis airport one time. He chatted for a couple minutes, took some pictures with me. He's a hell of a nice kid. Just unfortunately was the bridge quarterback the year after Pat White left. And I had a friend in Indy. She was a WVU fan. And we would go to games we did game watches and stuff like that. Anthony Becht, who's an announcer now. I never told her this, but man, she would piss me off because she'd be like, Pat White would have made that throw. Pat White would have made that throw. Pat White would have run for that first down. Well, he ain't Pat White. There ain't a whole lot of Pat Whites out there, so stop doing that to your players, people. If you're one of those guys, or in her case, gals, that does that, don't do that to your players. Don't be like, oh, well, so-and-so would have done that. Well, they're different players. Jarrett Brown was not the running quarterback that Pat White was. And he also just wasn't necessarily the throwing quarterback that Pat White was. I've forgotten to put stuff up there. Hey, if you're still watching, hey, what's going on? We're 40 minutes in. There's that Prospects. I told you we had the Geno and the Tavon earlier. I love these. These are canvas. These would be so awesome to get autographed. Precious metal gems. Stedman Bailey. See, those are numbered out of like 50 or something. Yeah, 48 out of 50. Stedman Bailey got ripped off. He should have won the Biletnikoff Award that year. I can't remember who won it, but he got hosed, man. Led the nation in touchdowns. I want to say he had 26 touchdowns, and more importantly, he was on my fantasy team, and I won my college football fantasy league that year. But that'll happen when you have Geno Smith that year and Stedman Bailey, and who the hell else did I have? Who was the running back at Stanford at that time that went to the NFL? Stephon Taylor, maybe? I don't know. I can't remember which guy it was. Yeah, I had a stud team, but I was the biggest college football fan in that league. It was a bunch of work guys. Joe Alexander. Yeah. What did we call him? White Thunder? Because White Chocolate was Jason Williams. We called him something like that. Really thought that guy was going to make it in the league. He was something else. Definitely the best basketball player I've ever seen at West Virginia. Love him. This, I remember I actually got this. I purchased this off Twitter from someone. I mean, we're talking like a few days after I moved to Texas. I remember that well. Alright, so some Tavons. Scott Siebel. I actually did a video on him somewhere back in the archives there. I need to go through and see what of his cards I don't have so I can kind of finish up his player collection. It's pre-1-of-1 days and stuff, so it's possible to do. Some of them are still tough, but I probably have 90% of his cards. At the time, he was the lowest drafted player to ever make the major leagues. He was drafted in the 88th round. There's been a couple of guys since then, X-Fractor, a couple guys since then that have that were drafted lower and made it. He's last I saw as of a couple of years ago, he was a manager in the minors. Siebel, Aubrey Huff, Joe Creedy, a couple of those guys had pretty good careers. One, he didn't have as much of a career. A lot of these are parallels. There's like limited edition and there's like employee edition and all this kind of stuff. If you collected then, you kind of know what I'm talking about. Oh, all right. Let's get a few of these back in the box because I'm running out of room on my desk up here. I tell you what, though, I mean, to see that I'm almost 45 minutes in, and I'm not halfway through this box yet. We may not even touch the binder. I have a binder too, so I may have to make another video another day and go through that. Plus, I don't really know. I'm not really set up. I don't have an overhead shot. I don't know how guys do that. But I don't have an overhead cam, so it wasn't going to be easy to show that off anyway. So I may have to just save that for a rainy day when I need a video or something like that. Okay. These ones I don't want to put back in that box. sweet tea. Although I am going to be able to go through some of this pretty quickly now, because it's a lot of player stuff. So Steve Klein pitched WVU, was a long-time middle reliever. I think he was a closer for just a little bit of time in the majors. I met him. Cool story about him. When he was pitching at Canton Akron, he pitched one night, and we were at the game and saw him after the game and got a picture and an autograph and all this. And I still have that picture. It's him and my sister and myself. I still got that somewhere. But yeah, was a hell of a nice guy. Next night we go back to the game again. We're out in the, whatever you would call it, like the concession area. I don't know, what do y'all call them? Well, that's gold medallion. I think these are supposed to be pretty hard to come by. The platinum medallions, these are out of 100. I got 100 out of 100. Anyway, we were out there, and he comes walking through, and this is during the damn game. He comes through and sees us and remembered us from the night before and came up and started talking to us because I had told him that we were from Morgantown and I was an Indians fan and all this. And, yeah, was a hell of a nice guy. So I was a big Steve Klein fan, was collecting his cards everyone. I was definitely a player collector. I've been a player collector for pretty much since the get-go. And a lot of the guys have been like the Seabolds and the Steve Kleins, where they don't have a ton of cards. There's like a final 9 or 9th inning or something that are numbered out of 9 of these. That's one I need that I will probably never end up with. Might help if I had an eBay save search for him. But I don't. So yeah, there he's a coach with the Augusta Green Jackets. He was there for a few years. These are Upper Deck 40 man, and I want to say these are numbered out of, 28 out of 40. So another former Mountaineer on the 88 undefeated team that went to the Fiesta Bowl and lost to Notre Dame. This guy might be the reason we lost the game. He broke his arm in the regular season finale and could not play in the bowl game. He was our starting cornerback, and he was a true freshman. And he was good. But ended up making the major leagues in baseball, even though he was I know him more, or at least early on, from football, because college baseball was not a real big thing. So he was taken in the expansion draft, so he had a lot of those 93 Marlins cards. So there's the 93 SP. That's his rookie. He doesn't have a foil like Jeter does. He was actually halfway decent in the majors. I don't know what exactly happened that his career was as short as it was, but he was only in the majors, I want to say, in 93 and 94, and that was it. It was a long time in the minors after that. Gold, Marlins set, Rocky set. I miss these old uniforms, and I bought a New Era hat that's the teal, but it is not the right teal. I don't care what they say. It's not like that old teal. So he even made Finest. And a Finest refractor there. Pacific. Unfortunately, this was before Pacific really did all of the parallels that they were later known for. So it was really just that one card. Pinnacle. I guess I don't have the Dufex version of that, because there is a Dufex from that set. I need to pick me up one of those. It shouldn't be too hard to come by. Base, electric diamond. I don't think I have the gold electric diamond on that one. Another one of those tougher to find parallels. But anyway, yeah, this was another player collection of mine that I went through. I would go through card shows and was just picking up anything. Okay, so there's a Dufex on that one, but I do think there's a Dufex of the earlier, the 94 Pinnacle. Artist proof. Cyber stats. This was the set that was like projected stats, I want to say, because the year before was the strike, or that was the year of the strike, or something. Anyway, it was revolving around the strike because we didn't have full season of stats. BBM, Japanese League. So on to player collectors. This is another one that I was player collecting. He was drafted 11th overall by the A's in '97. Thought he was gonna be the thing, man. But he only made it up. He only made it up to AAA ever. Chris Enix. He's another one. I need to get everything logged into trading card database. Just all these different parallels. We were even parallel crazy in '98. I need to get all these into trading card database. I need the President's edition of that if anyone ever finds it. That's the one numbered out of 10. First day issue, one of a kind. Most of these guys I was really close, other than maybe some of the super rare parallels of completing their player runs. I mean, as you can see there, I got a printing plate. I think some of those are doubles. Those aren't all different. Golds. Interstate. I think there are some versions of these out there. I got numbers 4 and 10 out of 25. I think there are some of these out there that are unnumbered or something like that. Some weird stuff came out. So those are out of 100, 93, and 85. Yeah, I definitely need to get back into trying to finish these player runs off. I got to do that with those guys you've seen. Russ Davis was another player collection I had. More of those. He was a top prospect, obviously. It just didn't work out. I want to say he's a principal back in West Virginia now. All these team best, these were numbered on the back. There were like 4 parallel. There was the base, the silver, the gold, and like a bronze, or some had 2 diamonds and some had 3 diamonds. Rasheed Marshall, hell of a nice guy. He works with WVU now, doing announcing. Rasheed Marshall didn't have a WVU autograph, so had to get a 49ers one. Not quite, would have liked to have had a WVU one, but what are you going to do? You can't make them make the cards. Another Enix. I don't know what these are. This is a different one. These might be like something I did from Column C a while back to try and... 93 Topps Micro? Yeah. Gold signature. Those were harder. Those were pretty tough to come by. Press proof. Okay, so there's that. I think that's the... Nope, that's double. I already had that one. But yeah, those are some other random ones that were just in a... I bet you I picked those up off Column C at some point. Okay, come on. Go in there, guys. Grant Somas never really made it with the Marlins. Mike Gansey, who's assistant GM or something with the Cavs now. He was some higher up with the Cavs. Jed Jerko, Sapphire. Well, what do you know? JT, Triple Crown 24, sent me one of these a couple of weeks ago. Apparently I had one. I didn't even know it. These were from EPAC sets. This is, Turkish League. It's Joe Alexander. I was talking about him earlier. Never really had much of an impact in the NBA, but it's been playing overseas and playing pretty well, I believe. What else we got in here? Some randoms and some things. Rod Thorne, big boy. Another oversized. That's a Steve Klein. Aspirations, Jerko. These are numbered out of 100, I believe. Nope, 200. These were sitting sideways. Just the random shit. Just open packs, but they got Geno Smith on the front of them. Looks like, got one with Geno Smith. And I think that's E.J. Manuel, Tavon Austin, and Cordarrelle Patterson. And then another Geno. You never know what the hell you'll find, man. I don't remember so much. There's so much of this I don't remember. Apparently I kept 2. Apparently there's another Tavon. How about a 2015 WVU football schedule magnet? Looks like this has multiple tall boys in it. It's just, I do not remember most of this stuff. D. Mackey, I don't even remember that name. I don't think, did he play at WVU? I guess so. It does say so. I did not ring a bell. And a couple of tall boys. Basketball, I know he played at West Virginia. I love the old, the ones where they've got the cards where they've got their last name on the front, where you would think the team would be. Anybody still hanging around? 55 minutes. I knew this was going to be long. I actually cleared out room on my laptop because I wasn't 100% confident that I was going to have enough room. Some graded cards, just some randoms. I have no idea what's in here. You can tell these have just been sitting in here because they are not in superior fit sleeves. Look at some of these. I've probably had these forever because these, I mean, I know I haven't bought any of these in a long time, but you can definitely tell those are the old, not the super old like font, but you can tell they are definitely the old labels. Barrett Green was a badass linebacker. These graded series 1 out of 175. This was back when, like, I think you would buy blasters and there was like one graded card per box. I think that was one of them. This was one of them. And there were some others, like 2000 Supreme, I think, because I had some of those. I guess I got rid of them. So there's a Fleer Brilliance. This was not one that came that way. This was actually just a graded card. I think it's numbered. Yeah. 22 of 24. I definitely don't. I'm confident that I don't have like the best Mountaineer collection ever, but it ain't bad. And considering I really haven't worked on it, like, let's be honest, these are all older things, and probably you don't see a lot because A, they're older, and B, who the hell is going to be putting out? Who the hell is going to be listing Chris Enoch's cards out of 100, or Daryl Whitmore gold signature cards? I mean, I guess other than Burbank Sports or somebody sending them to ComC. But just people aren't sending that stuff in. They're sitting in boxes somewhere in somebody's collection they're trying to sell on Facebook for $5,000. I don't know what the hell these were, but I remember buying these for like $1 or $2. It was just cool. It's got like a wheat penny from the year. It's 56, 56. What else we got here? Old Jerry West. Remember that, a 99. Some old schedules. Just pocket schedules. My mom tends to grab those for me. I've even got a lot of the, the fold football schedules. So these are another one of those like local sets. 1991 College Classics from 7-Eleven. 100 Years of Mountaineer Football. Major Harris. Like, all my Major Harrises are in the binder, so I guess other than this, you're probably not going to see any Major Harris. Probably won't see any Sam Huff other than this. Bruce Bosley's, I've got those, and some other one because they're with all my vintage football. He played for the 49ers for a while. Jim Braxton, I have some NFL cards of him. Danny Bugs. So, yeah, I'm not super organized, but I'm getting rid of a lot of stuff. I've sent probably close to Oliver Luck. That is Andrew's dad, and he's done a lot of things. He was with the XFL there for a while. He was the commissioner before McMahon fired him. He worked for the NCAA. He was our athletic director. Done a lot of stuff. Kerry Marbury died within the last couple years. What was I saying? Oh, yeah, I've sent off probably 4,000 cards to a guy on Twitter, commission to sell. So I'm starting to get through some stuff that was just going to take forever to sell at a card show because it just didn't, it didn't necessarily have a lot of popularity around here. New Mountaineer Field, that's still where WVU plays. The old Mountaineer Field, I remember that being there, but they moved into the new stadium when I was only a year or two old. The Lambert Trophy. But yeah, so getting rid of a lot of stuff, and then I'm just super unorganized, so I'm going to continue finding more. Column C is not even an option to sell stuff anymore. I've got stuff that's been sitting there since March, still hasn't been processed. You know, we're talking 5 months, and to me, that's just asinine. So this was a set from the 1988 undefeated season, and I was in 4th grade. Man, these things were like gold in class. All the boys wanted these. Charlie Bauman, A.B. Brown, Lee Edwards, Theron Ellis, Herring, Under Johnson, Kevin Koken, Marlatt. I think he played in the Arena League for a while. Bo Orlando played in the NFL for a few years. Played with the Oilers, the Bengals, Chargers, I believe. Pickett, Eugene Napoleon, Snyder, Stroya. There's the Major. That was the card everybody wanted. Every kid in Morgantown, every boy in Morgantown, West Virginia, wanted to be freaking Major Harris. I still want to be Major Harris. Dude was a beast. He was the Pat White before Pat White, or the, I don't know, whatever you want to say, the guy that could run, but he also, like, there's like the old, you know, the Bo Jackson urban legends. Well, there's Major Harris urban legends. Like, he could be on a knee at the 50-yard line and throw it through the uprights. These I picked up as a lot sometime down the road. Who knows if they're actually authentic autographs, but I'm sure I didn't pay much for them since, you know, not sure. Oh, so here are some of those older guys, some older cards. Chuck Howley, Bosley. These are guys I don't remember playing, but obviously, you know, they're Mountaineers, so I want them in the collection. USFL. Jeff Marrow. So he was in that set I just went through a couple of minutes that was in the case just a minute or two ago. I think this is the only card he has from the NFL where he's a defensive leader in interceptions. Pretty sure that's his only one. Danny Bugs. The old top stamps, or I think is what they were called. Sure doesn't fit in. Najee Good sure doesn't fit in with all that vintage going on right there. Alright, we're in the home stretch, guys. Thanks for hanging around if you're still here. Looks like we're into another player here, so let's break it up a little. I mentioned this guy earlier. I think I had a top stamp of him, but from my hometown, and then played at West Virginia. I think there's a couple of versions of this card, like, because you can see it's one of the more horrible airbrushings ever. I think there's some different ones. Basil Proctor. This is what, like World League. We saw Grant Somas earlier. Lovett Purnell. I think that might be his only NFL card. Dude was a heck of a tight end for us. John Ray, not Ray's. I saw about living in Indianapolis and doing game watches. He showed up at a couple of them. He lives there now. This is one large man. I had a picture with him, and he's got his like arm around me, and I look like his freaking like 5-year-old nephew. And I'm not a small guy. I'm checking in at about 5'8", and then I was probably up around 325 pounds, and he made me look like a little boy. But yeah, his boy is, because I'm friends with him on Facebook, his boy is like a junior or senior in high school, or maybe he just graduated. He's a big guy himself, football player. Just all these random, these guys, like these old minor league cards, I got to go through and I got to start doing some research to find some of these guys so I can pick up a minor league card. Alex Ruoff. Robert Sands, man, I forgot all about Robert Sands. That's a name I haven't heard in a long time. Stud Still, Darryl Talley, John Talley, Keith Tandy. Love these because, like I said, these are kind of like, or this one here is like a throwback to like the, I want to say what, 93 rookie sensations or something. Thornton, Turnbull. There's that Fleer metal set. Yeah, just not getting a lot of. Coat cap. Tom Woodishick. Come on. Focus. I think it's Coke. Yep. Coke. Alright, so. I promise we're getting there, but then again, if you're actually still watching this damn thing, I don't think you're in any big hurry. It's obvious since I'm hour 5 minutes in. So, Mike Gansey, I mentioned him earlier. He works in the front office with the Cavs now, but dude was a beast on that team with Kevin Pittsnoggle. I know everybody remembers Pittsnoggle, but Gansey was he was kind of the glue to that team. It's just different serial numbers. So we got 1 out of 1750. 1 out of 199, 31 out of 50, and yes, is the answer to your question. I have the 1 of 1. I think that's about the only rainbow I have ever completed in my life. I came close on my Andrew Shaw cards, but yeah, I know at least one buddy of mine really wants to get this off of me, but it ain't happening. What else we got here? Chuck Howley, Hudson, Hugs. I got to get if anybody has his. He's got a couple of Upper Deck certified autograph cards. If anybody has that and doesn't want it, let me know. Curtis Keaton didn't finish his career at WVU, but he did play there. Finished at James Madison, so he gets in there. Corey Ivy was a pretty good receiver for us. That bad boy, 192 out of 100. It's an Arena League card. World League, another one of them. Jay Kearney, autograph. I miss these Signature Rookies tetrads because, yeah, if you were like a college fan, like they would have all these random guys that weren't ever going to be in an NFL set. But if you're a Gordon Malone, man, I thought that guy was going to be a beast in the NFL, but he should not have left after 2 years. He should have hung around for another year or two. I don't even know whatever happened to that guy. There he is again, an autograph. I don't know what the hell ever happened to that guy. He kind of fell off the face of the earth. I'm sure he went and played overseas somewhere. Things like this is the Army All-American game or whatever. You know, I love that they do this. I don't buy this stuff, but this is the only Ivan McCartney card that I know exists. I mean, he may have had like a base or something from that set. This is that Razor, which I think is Brian Gray, the guy that owns Leaf. I believe that was his company before, because I think it's the same thing. I think he bought the Leaf name and changed it and all that or something. But yeah, this guy has no NFL cards, wasn't drafted, didn't sign as a free agent. He's actually Chad Ochocinco, Chad Johnson, whatever you want to call him. It's his cousin or nephew or something. But he was like a high school All-American, was a huge recruit for us, and had one good year, but didn't really cut the mustard. Not that KBO Collections is going to be watching this far into this video, but if he did, here's some of the Dustin Nipperts. He sent me a program or a magazine that had Dustin Nippert stuff in it from the Korean League, because over there, so there's a printing plate. Over in the Korean League, in the KBO sets, they will not put the foreign players in the sets. I don't know if it's they won't or they can't. I don't know what that's all about. Bo Orlando, Wes Hours are. So you can see fullback, linebacker, because he's in the AFL, so they played offense and defense. What they got his weight as on here? Let's see here. 300 pounds. My ass. His ass probably weighed 300 pounds. That dude, unless he lost some weight, because when he was at WVU, he was up around 400 pounds. But yeah, he was a fullback. And yeah, full back. What do we got in here? Yeah, it looks like I guess I was wrong. Apparently I own 2 booklets. Austin and Bailey. Yeah. Look at that. I own 2 booklets. What do you know? You learn something new about your own collection every day when you have too much stuff. Klein. What we got here? We got a bunch of backwards ones. So that's a Klein minor league card. I can tell what that is. So when I talked about Steve Klein and meeting him after the game that he pitched, you can't really see it there. You can see just a tiny bit there, but he signed it in a Sharpie, but it's like one of those fine point Sharpies, and he signed it right over the uniform. So you can't really see it, but it's signed, and it's mine, and I know. Darryl Whitmore. Stedman Bailey autograph. This is the last stack we're on, guys, because I ain't going to do that. I ain't going to do the damn binder. We'll deal with that another day. Beasley was an All-American defensive back at WVU. Grannis Bell. I really don't remember Grannis Bell at WVU. So there's a couple more Bell gnomes. Hey, look, there's another one of those Coke caps. This one's Bruce Bosley. Coke. So I'm guessing this. Yeah, I figured this was numbered out of 50. Bell gnome. Yeah, he made it. He made it to the majors in, I don't know, probably around 2012, 2013 with Tampa Bay. I was writing for BlueGoldSports.com at the time, and I know I was living in Indianapolis, and I remember where I was living, so it had to be around 2012-13. Tom Briggs, I think I mentioned him a while back in one of those sets and playing in the Arena League, and that he had a jersey card. Grant Buckner, got this at a card show, did a card show in West Virginia, drove back from Indianapolis for it, and he, Jed Jerko, David Carpenter, who's on one of those 60-man rosters now. Maybe it was just the 3 of them signing autographs. Deshaun Butler, very well loved by the Mountaineer faithful. Speaking of David Carpenter. Josh Cisneros, I think this is the only major league card. I mean, he's obviously got the base and stuff, but this is the chrome black refractor out of 100. Mike Compton, I'd mentioned he played for the Lions. I don't know who else he might have played for. Mike Fox. Najee Good. Barrett Green. I was definitely a Barrett Green super collector, although he only had probably like 20 cards. Hostetler, that's a name that one of the better known ones, a Hostetler printing plate. I definitely bought that because he doesn't have any WVU football cards, so this is a 83 pocket schedule. It's got Hostetler on the front. Charleston Federal and its divisions. That does not ring a bell. Anyway, yeah, I bought that because, I mean, that's the closest thing you're going to get to a WVU football card. Haas autograph, kind of fading. Pretty cool, though, that it's an acetate, and we're talking probably, what, like a 96 card? 1997. It's pretty cool to think that there was some acetate back then, but yeah, it was, this is a Pinnacle, I think. Yeah, Pinnacle. And then I know there was the Collector's Edge or something that had some of those acetate cards back then. Clear metal, always cool. Action Pack 24 karat gold. And I did a video about some JR House cards. I think I did that for, was that for Mangini collection? I can't remember. But it was something about random guys you collect and why. Maybe it wasn't John's channel. I did a video on him, and I did one on, I want to say on Siebel was the other. Yeah, Siebel was the other one. No, it wasn't the YU. I don't know. Something like that. To hell with it. Let's do this real quick. I said I wasn't going to go through the binder, and I'm not. But let's show off just a couple of things from it. Told you everybody wanted to be Major Harris in Morgantown as a kid. So there's another one of those you saw. 4 different Major Harris autographs. I need to see if there's more of those out there for sale somewhere. And his 2 Jogo cards. These 2 Jogo cards, I bought these in Would have been 1999. I can even remember bought it back on eBay, and I mean, I think I paid like $30 combined for those two cards. Early days of eBay, the availability of stuff that you never could find before, living in West Virginia. So all of a sudden I could find it, and there was probably my all-time favorite Mountaineer football player, Owen Schmidt. Just go YouTube him if you don't know who he is. This is my all-time favorite card of him, and maybe one of my all-time favorite cards ever now, and I just mean in general because of the photo. I don't care about the parallels or any of that. This was the game after Rich Rodriguez left WVU, basically in the middle of the night, basically screwed us over. We were like 28-point underdogs or something to Oklahoma. There's an ESPN. There was this picture, and I'm sure I could easily find if I wanted to. 93% of the nation picked Oklahoma to beat West Virginia, and we freaking smoked them. And this is from his long touchdown, about a 60-yard touchdown run. He's running down the sidelines, and Matt Vasgersian, who's calling the game, like a runaway beer truck. And just that game brings back, thinking of that game just brings back such fond memories for me. So there's some Owen Schmidt autographs. But yeah, Schmitty is probably my favorite Mountaineer ever. I won't say I ever tried to work on, any kind of completion of, his player run or anything like that, because there's just too much out there. It's stupid to try and do that these days. There was some more Schmidt. Here's one for you college basketball fans. The guy that turned into a verb. You were Pittsnoggled. It's a Kevin Pittsnoggle autograph. I love this Harrison Musgrave because the Isotopes apparently do something with their local animal rescue or whatever. So he's got a little puppy, and if you watch my channel, you know I love puppies. What else we got there? I love that Jim Braxton miscut. It's something different. It's something random. Let's see what else is here, if there's anything else worth showing off. I'd mentioned Whitmore. I'm working on that, so there's some other random ones that looks like I picked up along the way. First Day, Gold Rush. Did not see any Bruce Irvin in there. I think they're probably all in this binder somewhere, but there's a Bruce Irvin numbered 6 out of 6. I love it because it's the green emerald, and he was a Seahawk. I love buyback cards. I know people didn't like them, but I love buybacks for stuff like this. It was actually something different to add to my Chris Enix collection. So there's another Bruce. I think that's numbered at 57 or something. 58. I was damn close. This is cool. Sauerbrunn was a punter. Kicked for the Bears for a long time. A little bit of a head case himself, if I remember correctly. Didn't have any of his cards in there. I wonder where they are. I had a few of them because he had a few Bowman rookies and stuff. But this is the only one where he's in a Mountaineer uniform, and it's a playing card. Carl Joseph's a bad, bad man. I don't think he plays with the Raiders anymore. I think he went somewhere else. But a Prism Silver rookie. I mentioned Rich Braham and playing at my Crosstown High School autograph. Let's see if there's anything else in here worth showing. Maybe I'll do a full binder thing someday. Maybe not. Who knows? But I'm going to try to hit some of these highlights. Here's just a sheet of mostly autographs. Yeah, Kaiser White, Nick Kwiatkowski. This was literally Leaf Draft was his only, and he didn't even have a base card. He only had an autograph card. He's a linebacker. Was playing for the Bears. I don't know. I feel like he might have left and gone somewhere else too. Bulger, I love that. This is probably one of my favorite set designs ever, and I'm just glad that there were a couple of Mountaineer rookies in it. And then here's a parallel numbered out of 75. The green. There's a purple parallel too. I need to look for those. This is who? Oh, John Bovey. This is I think his name's actually Bove, and they put it as Bovey. It's incorrect, but it's a CFL card, and I believe it's his only card. 52 Parkhurst football. You can say complete set of Parkies 52. Yeah, just some random stuff. Stella, you're being stupid. Oh, yeah, I talked about guys. So apparently this guy, Bucky Guth, think I saw that he actually did make the majors at one point, but he had no card. This is the only. It's a Tacoma Twins. This is like the only card of him that I think is out there. So I actually bought that team set a few years ago. Paid, I don't know, like $40 or $50. It's like a early '70s team set. But what's funny is Tom Kelly was actually in there too, the long time manager. Oh, hey, look, there's a Sauerbrunn. I knew you had a Bowman rookie, and I knew I had it. Anything else in here worth showing off? Definitely some other random guys that you didn't see anything of from that box, mostly because it's probably something I picked up a little more recently. There's some J.R. House. I don't know. If I sit this here, can you even see it? Maybe kinda. Can't see the bottom row, but it's just gonna see. So Pat McAfee, everybody loves McAfee. I'm not a big McAfee fan. I met him. So here, now I guess you can kind of see. Well, let's just do it. All right. So what do we got here? So there's Major. So I know you can't quite see everything, but the Schmidts. I showed off the first few pages. Oh, that Schmidt, I like this too. Kind of like the Bruce Irvin because it's Seahawks and it's in green. What do we got here? Cool. 55 Bowman, Tom Keene, and then this was a Fleer. What is it? I don't remember what it was. It was an insert of some sort, but obviously WVU. It's considered a card, so I had to have it. So just some cool shiny stuff. Kevin White. Browning Nagel played for a few years in the NFL. He was at WVU, was highly recruited, or highly thought of, came in, and he came in at the same time as Major Harris. Did not make it, or Major Harris became the quarterback, and he transferred out and went to Louisville. Steve Rowland. That was another one I found. I was looking somewhere, and I talked about some of those baseball guys that were in the minors and had cards. At one point, I was looking real hardcore for those, and things, I don't know, whatever happened, I stopped doing it. What else we got here? Anything super cool? It's just a binder. Loved 99 MVP. That was one where there was a lot of 99 was that year I said there was a lot of Mountaineers. And this is where we were. McAfee. Yeah, I'm not a McAfee fan. He's kind of a tool. So Harrison Musgrave. This was his Heritage High. I bought a few of those. Let's just say I bought a few of those. Just a couple. Probably should do the same with John Means Heritage and just put it there afterwards. What else we got here? So there's a Bruce Irvin autograph. Javon Carter, who's with the Suns now. Now we're into the Jerko portion of the book. I was trying to put all these rainbows together at one point, but it's kind of asinine to do that. You really need to spend $15 on some parallel just because it's got a slightly different color and a name. I mean, if you're a true player collector, yeah, you do. But obviously, I give up on that. Love this set. Heritage Miners. I do want to get his Heritage. I want to get like a full page of every one of his cards. That was kind of what I was going to do. And I want to get a full player run signed. I've got a couple of them. I sent some out and never got them back. There's a Jerko Ginter autograph. I would probably do the same thing with Ginter if he had been in more sets because I like Ginter. And this guy didn't play at WVU, but he's from my hometown. Played at the Crosstown High School. So I was collecting him pretty hardcore at one point. And I had a friend that she actually used to babysit him as a kid. So I guess that's all, folks. That's kind of cool though. This one here. I don't even know what they were actually called, but they're kind of, as you can tell, they're, acetate, and you can partially see through them, and then numbered out of 10. So I will leave you with that after almost an hour and a half. Yeah, would not have tried to have done this if my wife and stepson were home. But that's what I got. Gonna upload this right now, which means it'll probably be on YouTube in about an hour and a half. They used to load real fast from my computer, but the last few have not. So I don't know if I did something with my settings or what happened. But it is what it is. There it is. I've got more WVU stuff, but that's what I could find right now because I'm horribly unorganized. Part of getting rid of stuff is hopefully getting organized. So down the road, again, be more organized, show stuff off better, respond to more videos when people want to see things, and be able to do it quickly. But that's what I got. I hope you all have a great Saturday. I hope yours and mine is better than last Saturday. I hope your air conditioning works. And my throat is really dry right now after talking for that long. But as I've said a lot of times on these videos, I love hearing myself talk. So I will bid you adieu. Happy collecting, y'all. And I will see you down the road.